What's up, my guy? We're in week 21. You know, my favorite player of all time is KG, and he rock with the 5 or whatever, but the original number of Minnesota Timberwolves is Big 21. So that's the week we in. Merriam-Webster's word of the day is palatable. That is something that has a pleasant or agreeable taste, or something that is pleasing, even if it isn't taste related. So do with that information what you will. We always start with the working out. Ha! One spin, whatever, mind your business. So I'm getting on point though, man. I ain't got no excuse or no reason. Just I've been lazy. If I ain't working, I'm laying down. So I don't know. Definitely been slack with taking my iron, even though sometimes and I ain't been getting out there like that because I be working a lot. So I get it together. So what do? I do work or the business first. I mean, either way, it ain't gonna matter. So we'll work like each week, where the more I'm hands-on with interacting with cases and doing the work, I do gain more confidence. So I think I'll be fine, more so than I did, especially the first week, especially the second week, third, fourth week, and so on. I think I'm in like my 5th week or whatever. And I'm actually getting like, whereas I know it was taking first week, it might take me like 2-3 days because I just had paralysis of analysis. I didn't know where to go for everything. And what I said, I believe it was last week, what I said last week is helping me clear my cases a lot faster. Like, nope, okay, you know, versus sitting and trying to just rack my brain and run through all the I'm gonna look at this. I think I'm done. I think I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna send it. If it's wrong, I'm not gonna know it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there and staring at it and trying to think of solutions where I don't know if there's a problem or something missing. Hey, I did it. This is pretty good to me. Let me send it. And it's, you know, for the most part, been like, oh yeah, no, you just forgot this or change this, reword this, whatever the case is. But for the most part, it kind of has a system in place where there are certain things like there's a lot of, templates and stuff like that to reference, and that helps as well. But on top of that, like one of the big things is almost like a system of checks and balances at the end where to be like, hey, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. So you can't submit it if you didn't do certain things right. So the biggest thing is what's called like your narrative, where it's like you made a decisions in regards to this case. Was it a good case? Was it a bad case? Do we need to look further into it? Etc. etc. So like I said, getting a lot better and a lot more confidence at that, and actually finishing cases or whatever. Like with where I'm working, you have the freedom to work 8 hours between 6:30 and 6 p.m. So it's almost 5 now. I'm headed home. I finished a case earlier today because you're only supposed to do I want to say it's 1 a day or whatever. But if I got home and I really locked in, I could finish this second one. Will I? I don't know. I don't tell no lies. But I know that I'll finish it tomorrow, and honestly, I think I'll finish a second one tomorrow as well. So, you know, they wanted us to be ramping up like that because, like I said, this is our technically this is our 3rd week with cases. Yeah, this is our 3rd week because the cases I'm on my cases from last week. So I'm definitely gonna finish them by today is Monday. I have 4, Tuesday, Wednesday. I am going to be finished with both of those cases by Wednesday because I was supposed to have new cases for this week. So if I finish both of them by all 4 cases by Wednesday and let them know, they can send me more, and hopefully by Thursday, Friday, if they send me 4 or 5 more, I can complete those, be caught up with everybody else. So like I said, we get in there, you know, and I'm not comparing to nobody else or whatever. Just, hey, this was all new to me. I'm doing the best I can. This is what I got. So, but definitely feeling better each day as time goes on and gaining more experience and knowledge and getting comfortable. And like I said, a big part of that is I submitted to the manager, my current manager's reviewing my cases, and he's like, no, you need to change that, or this right here is the only thing you forget, or I would have said this instead of that. And it's like, oh, okay. So that paralysis of analysis I had where it's like, oh my God, I'm bombing, I'm gonna fuck this all the way up, messed up, whatever. It's like, no, you're not doing as bad as you were telling yourself you were doing, you know. So a lot more comfortable, man, a lot more comfortable. I know that I had spoke about, and I'm late with that. I was supposed to have did that like I think on Thursday, But one of the clients I had when I was doing Uber and Lyft, which I don't think I did in like 2 weeks, if not 3, and hasn't been a problem. Reached out and I did it. Okay, reached out and let me know about a wreck or whatever. So I'll do that. We'll see what happens. But it does feel good to be getting comfortable and saying like, no, I can do this. You know, like I said, am I gonna be perfect at it? No. Is it what I thought it was? Before actually getting into it. Also, no. Is that bad? No, not bad. Just it's not what I thought it was. You know. So we pivot and all right. You know. Still gonna knock it out, still gonna gain certs and stuff like that, and you know, we'll figure life and things out. So that is that with that. What was the dates? Let me double check, make sure I don't say that. I ain't supposed to say for 22. Hold up. Well, no, we're not into it. Yeah, because I'm late. Okay, whatever. So my oldest is there. I picked him up. Let me double check the date. Hang on. May. And this is from what? Well, I know he's been there this whole time. Because his sister was there. They just picked her up because we were on the first down. So, yep, I picked up my oldest. I want to say, yeah, the 23rd. And it was cool, man. His soccer team, he played soccer. They won some tournament and stuff like that, and you know, had a really good showing. So when I picked him up, he had asked me that week, like, hey, can we stay to go to my like banquet like situation or whatever. Originally the plan was for them to go and hang at like a park and stuff like that, and just the kids better play cookout type situation. That didn't work out. I think the weather was supposed to be bad as it is now. It's been a lot of rain here lately or whatever, so they changed it. Supposed to have that restaurant. I'm like, all right, cool. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were supposed to be at the restaurant by noon. I want to say it was at 12 o'clock. If not 12, it was 1, but I'm going to say 12. And I was like, all right, I'll be there. We'll get there. You know, I'm thinking we're going to sit, eat. This might take an hour, hour and a half. We eat, drink, be merry, get back on the road because we got a 4-hour drive. I'm going to say we're supposed to be there at 12. We get there, 11:45, about 10, 15 minutes early. Nobody is there at all. So I'm like, are you sure it's the right place? He's like, yeah. Let me check, double check, see the you know, invite or whatever. Nope, we at the right place, right time, right day. Like, all right. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Of course, 15 minutes because we got there 15 minutes early or whatever. Put you right on time. All right. Another 10 minutes, 10 minutes late, nobody. 15 minutes, nobody. 20 minutes, nobody. About 45 minutes, about 12:45. People start showing up. I know you lying. Y'all live here. I gotta drive 4 hours. So then we have to wait. It takes like another 30 minutes, like an hour and pretty much an hour, about 15, 20 minutes before everybody's there. And we start ordering food and stuff. So you order, you're eating, and then the coach starts to do like the speech. So I don't think we left till like 3 o'clock. How long everything took. It took about 3 o'clock. So they added 3 hours. We're not getting back to like 7 something, maybe 8, depending on traffic. Talk about somebody was annoyed. I was very annoyed with that, but he got a lot of compliments and kudos because he was new to this team. He had switched teams and was new to this team. And like I said, apparently they got some really good boys on their team and some trees, even though height ain't everything in sports, but especially in soccer. But they had some like 6'2", 6'3", 13, 14-year-olds. I'm like, sheesh. Which is normal for, you know, tall kids at that age. I remember some cats being 5'11", 6'1", 6'2", when I was in middle school or whatever. But apparently they're really good soccer players, and they had an impact on them winning the championship. So he got like big kudos for being like one of a speedster on defense, because like he ain't, I'm not gonna say he's not concerned with scoring, but from jump he's been like, no, I play defense. Okay. And they gave like big kudos, like, you know, he was a lot of the kids have been playing soccer together for years, and him and a few other kids were new additions. And they were like, he was a big like free agent pickup or whatever the case is. I want to say he had played against their team before, and they were like, yeah, this is a really good kid. Like, he's, you know, solid on the defense and fast and da-da-da, whatever. And so they ended up bringing him over, and they were like, yeah, like he really was a, not a defensive anchor, but an X factor. Yeah, they said like defensive X factor or whatever, and would come up with big plays and big moments and get stops and really step up and get aggressive and just speed. And I'm like, man, look at that, the boy. You know what I'm saying? He get it from his daddy. But proud dad moment, man. And that was cool to see him here because unfortunately he lives 2 states away and I haven't made it to any of his games. You know, just a lot of weekends I'm working and just hadn't worked out for me to get to one. That is something I'm committing to whenever the season starts back up. I'm going down there. I'm gonna say within the first 2 to 3 games. I don't care what's going on. I'm working around it. I'm going to one of his first 3 games. So we'll see how that plays out. But yep, so picked him up. That was cool. So he's been back and everything's been fine. What else from that week up to the 27th? I think that's pretty much about everything. Other than that, we got the jobs to cover with the business or whatever. So I didn't go crazy. Week 21, just 3 jobs. One, there was a couple. I didn't know there were a couple. Not that it mattered. But they were actually literally like right around the corner from the realtor that I was saying was from New York, who house I was working at. And I couldn't find my headphones from work, and I really liked those or whatever. And so I thought the last place I remember having them was when I was at his house. So I reached out like, hey, I leave some headphones, can you check? And he was looking, he was like, nah, I don't see them. Like, dang, because I'm right around the corner. I could stop and get them on the way home. But they actually ended up being in my room. I was overlooking them or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, I found them. Appreciate you anyway. But so I get to their house, and it was a desk with glass legs, which adds a whole nother G bus. If I don't never do a table with glass legs again, or desk or whatever, it won't be soon enough. But I had to do the desk, and then they had like a kitchen buffet island type situation. They wanted for the middle of the kitchen. So I'm like, okay. So I figured that the island would take longer because it has dressers and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna start on that first. So the lady's like, all right, this it, take it right here. And I'm like, okay, cool. Not paying attention to it. Like I said, I get so locked in with working or whatever. I knew, again, stated before that the desk has glass legs. I know the kitchen buffet gonna have a lot more pieces. So I get up there, I'm getting going, knock out like the first 2-3 steps or whatever. I say 1/3, 1/4 for the, about 1/3, 1/4 for the way, and finish. And the husband asks like, hey, does this thing have drawers? And I'm like, I'm glad you asked that, 'cause now that I'm looking at it, I don't think this is the kitchen buffet. Matter of fact, I know it's not. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, because like you said, the kitchen buffet got dressers and drawers. If you look at the picture, it doesn't have any glass. These are the glass legs for that desk. And so he calls up like, this the desk? She was like, no, because it said that the desk came in 2 boxes and the kitchen buffet come in 1. I was like, again, I didn't see what you ordered, but typically, based on the picture I didn't place the order, but I saw what you ordered. That kitchen buffet, that's why I said I wanted to do that first, because I knew I figured it would take more time and be more complex and have more items. I like to start with the harder thing. That way, if I'm not necessarily burning out, but if I'm getting, more fatigued or just ready to go, it's easier for me. All right, boom, let me rush through this because this is going to take half the time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the easier item is. That's just what I prefer. So she was like, well, they said it was going to be 2. I'm like, I can guarantee you, this is not it. I'm like, look, these are the glass legs from the, I said it was from the desk. And so she, well, they messed up. Nah, okay, I ain't gonna say out loud that you messed up. And it's not that big of a deal. I just prefer to do it the other way around, but it's fine. And she, I'm so sorry, this, that, and the third, super apologetic. I'm like, no, I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm just saying we just did it backwards. Like, it isn't an issue that I'm, gonna be doing the desk first. I just wanted to do it the other way, but it's the same amount of time, essentially. It's just, which one I'm doing first, which one I'm doing second. So nothing to apologize for at all. It's fine. So we grabbed everything from the desk, took it downstairs, and she started unloading everything from the kitchen buffet and taking it upstairs. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's work for me, because that's one of the things when I first started doing like Angie's List or whatever, they would be like, this should take like an hour and a half. I'm like, hour and a half? No, it may take, like I said, like depending on what you're doing, between 10 to 30 minutes unboxing everything, depending on how much there is. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the biggest thing, one item I've done, trampolines take a little grip, you know what I'm saying? But trampolines don't take long because you're outside. You ain't got to be nice and all that with. You can dump stuff out of a trampoline box or just cut it open and you straight. But the thing that took the longest to unbox that I'm comes to mind for me was that couch system that I spoke about at that mansion, that $2 million house or whatever. Because like I said, it literally came in like 25 to 30 boxes. So you're taking something out of 25 to 30 boxes. Then you gotta take it out of the wrapper, cutting wrappers. Then each box had like anchors that you would connect, or connectors for connecting the table, the chairs together to the other chairs. So all of those had to be taken out of a box. Like, it was a lot. It probably took about 30 to 45 minutes just unboxing this. And like I said, it was taking me so long. The mother-in-law came to help. So if, like I say, when Angelus and I was doing that, they give a time like, oh, okay, he's gonna get there at 1 o'clock. He should be done by 3:30. Who? No, because like I said, it's gonna take me 30, 45 minutes just to unbox this, and it may take me 2.5, 3 hours just to put it together. I don't like the way y'all do this. So them going in, that just helped out, that they were going and doing the unboxing for them. I'm like, cool, not gonna argue with that in the slightest. So like I said, that helped out a lot or whatever. And I got the glass that's going or whatever first, knocked that out. The top and everything else was fine, but you have to be very careful because again, the legs to this is glass. So way more than wood, metal, plastic, whatever. Like, you can't make a mistake with this. It's glass. It's gonna break, gang. You know what I mean? So just make sure you're right in the holes perfect. Making sure that the little they're not anchors, but like little metal pieces where the screws are gonna go through are perfectly aligned with the hole, because again, it's glass, it'll break. So it took a little longer doing the bottom half, way longer doing the bottom half than it did the top and everything else. But all right, cool, got that together. So I get that knocked out. We get the desk done, then go get started on the island. Again, following directions, so it's not really a major issue, and it kind of worked out, because the NBA West Conference playoffs, I think it was game 2. I want to say it was game 2 was on, and that was the Spurs versus OKC. So getting to watch Wemby and them play against SGA and them, and Wemby them start out on a 15-0 run. Like, I want to say they said that was the record for like this conference of the playoffs period, to start off 15-0, and then they blew the lead and lost. So it made for a really good game or whatever. And me and the husband just wrapping this up, working with them. So I knocked that out. They got some more stuff that they need me to do. They actually needed me to do 2 things that day, but it got so late and took so long doing those 2 things. And one thing was, I want to say their bed. They have a queen or king size bed that they wanted me to put together, but their room wasn't to their standard to be having somebody put stuff together. So I was like, we'll call you back for that. I'm like, that's cool. And I think it was like a little desk, or not desk, but like some kind of little table or whatever they wanted me to put together, maybe like a coffee table. And they was like, I can do that when I come back. And if I ain't mistaken, they had curtains or something else they wanted done too. I'm like, hey, yeah, just let me know. I do that stuff. Like, so I'm definitely comfortable with curtains. I'm comfortable with curtains, TVs, anything assembly. I'm cool with pictures. Like I said, it just depends on how they want, like, make sure they're level or whatever, which that's no problem. I have levels. So I had that job. That was the first one. And then I had their job first. I had a patio set. Man, it's working out great, dog. I had a patio set. The person had an old patio set they wanted me to get rid of, dispose of, and then put their new patio furniture together. Again, it had been raining, and it rained some that day. So I checked on my way there because it had cleared up and stopped, but it was like it was gonna rain some more. And I was like, is your patio area covered? He was like, yeah, it's like, gazebos and stuff like that out there, so you'll be fine. I'm like, cool, all right. So I get there, pack the first one up, and I'm looking, I'm like, this furniture ain't really hurt. I think they call it it's hard to say the word, a rattan. I ain't finna sound dumb, hang on. I ain't rushing. Let's see what this thing say. It is rat. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a rat and patio set or whatever. So both of them were ratting. The old one was ratting and the new one. And he wanted, like I said, to get rid of the old one. So I'm like, okay. So what's this? Oh, my former co-worker. The old one, I packed it up, I take it out, and as I'm taking it out, I'm like, man, this ain't really hurt. What? The pillow's nice, but we could have got other pillows. And so I was like, just double checking. You want me to take the old? He's like, yeah, just get rid of that. Okay. Guess what? I got rid of that on my back patio area because this stuff look nice. Like, ain't nothing wrong with it. I just got to get some more pillows. So, you know, I had just got one, and like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I just got one, and that one has the table and everything, like a dining area. But now I have like a sitting area too. So, man, I'm so ready for this rain to clear. I got to get my pillows first. But once I get my pillows, like, and then I'm going to get my house clean or whatever. I think I'm going to have a house cleaner come out. Give me some pillows for there, as well as pillows for my sectional upstairs, and host me a little cookout, because we got like sitting areas and cats can be playing cards and eating. Man, I'm excited. So, and again, I'm doing all this, I'm excited. It's really gonna just be me and the kids, but still, I'm ready to have a good time. And I'm gonna get some little entertaining games and stuff like that to play, little outdoor stuff, to do water guns and stuff like that. We're gonna have fun this summer, man. We locked in for another year. We're gonna have fun this summer. So I'm excited. I'm having at least 2. It's June now. June, July. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do one a month. June, July, and August. That's the plan. So I don't know about Father's Day weekend. Not that I like, oh, you know, whatever, but you know, people doing their own thing Father's Day weekend or whatever. But I'm having one in June. Like I said, that one might just be me and the kids. Everybody had cookouts 4th of July. I'm not trying to be the 4th of July house, but I'm not opposed either. So we'll see then. And then August we'll do one right before they go, you know, a little back to school cookout or whatever. So excited, man. And my son already been asking about going to the pool and stuff. So we'll have a good time this year, man. But yeah, so I packed that patio set up. So now I have, like I say, the tables and chairs in the sitting area, as well as another, I think it's like 6 or 7 seats from the one he had. And we building up a nice little back area. You know what I'm saying? Even for like the fall and winter time or whatever, I get a little, what you call them things? Give me another little fire pit, because my baby brother on my pop side borrowed it in 2024 and never gave it back. And I asked about it. He all of a sudden turned deaf and you can't hear when I say, hey man, where my fire pit go? He can't hear me. So whatever, I'm just getting another one. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to start enjoying my backyard or whatever. So I knocked that out. And that was one of the things, like, the professionalism really goes a long way, because I'm so busy, you know, boom, 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 knocking this out. It's raining. I'm having to pack all this stuff up, whatever. That when I finished, like, I had asked him, hey, do you want me to put the new pillows out because he's out of town? Do you want, and I'm talking about it because the rain is loud, so I don't know how loud this is going to play back. I hope it's not going to be yelling. But do you want me to put the new pillows out on the furniture, or just wait till you get back because it's raining? Your old pillows had rain damage, whatever. He was like, yeah, just leave them out. That's cool. I'm like, okay. So like I said, I finished and I'm loading up. The last thing I'm doing is loading everything up. So when I got started working, I piled his old pillows on like the storage unit that he has on the back, and the new ones I left those in a box in their wrappers in the bags so they don't get rain damage, because it's still been raining. So I get home, you know, send pictures of everything. He's like, yeah, that's good, da da da, whatever. And I don't know if he had somebody come by to check the house, or if he has cameras. I don't think it's cameras. I think he had somebody come by and check, which again, all good. But he messaged me like, man, you didn't have to just leave the pillow sitting out like that. You could have put them up or this, that, and the third. And I'm like, miscommunication gets on my nerves, but whatever. Don't worry about it, gang. I'll go put them back out right now. All right, man. I appreciate you. Now seeing some more money. Cool, okay. So I go put them out. Again, was that a quote-unquote mistake I made? No. But I'm not going to say nothing about the money, because it's something, you know, I look at, I didn't do it right. So I went back, I put them, I said to people, like, yeah, that's good right there. And he wanted the new ones out. He asked me, like, should I use the old ones or the new ones? I'm like, I don't live here. It's not my house. But your old ones have water damage. You have brand new ones. I don't see why you wouldn't use them. I would use the new ones. So he's like, yeah, we'll take the new ones out, set them up. So I took them out, and he had some of the, like, decorative ones from the old ones, like accent pillows he wanted to keep. So he's like, yeah, just set it all up for me. So I staged it, boom. He's like, yeah, that's perfect right there. I never got no extra money, but whatever. It is what it is. So I knocked that out, and the same day I knocked his out, I had got a dresser that a couple needed fixed. So I could tell him, like, yeah, that one it's gonna be a little bit complex or whatever. Or so I thought it was gonna be more complex than it was. And so in the message, they were like, yeah, we got started on it, this, that, and the third, but we couldn't finish. And I was like, before like I say, I used to, it's funny how it flips. Because when I started, like I say, and somebody like, oh, I did this, or a pro, somebody else started on it, so it should make it easier for you. Nope. So this is the first time, I want to say that, at least that I recall for sure, where I openly told somebody, hey, I'm charging you extra because I don't know what you did, and that could potentially make it harder for me. And they were like, yeah, no, that's fine. I probably effed it up real bad, and I'm like, you know, cool. So I gave them my price, and it was a considerable charge for the you effed up fee. And so when I get there and I'm looking, I go back and I'm, actually, you didn't F up at all. Like, what they did was so small, and the guy did a good job, because like I said, they were a young couple or whatever. I say young, they're like they might have been my age, maybe a few years younger. If I fixed what he messed up on and he watched me, I think he could have finished the race. So, you know, I kind of told him, I was like, hey, you know, and I'm giving him kudos, and like, compared to a lot of people, and it's funny how it was the opposite, because I'm like, you really didn't mess up at all. You did one thing wrong, and other than that, you did great. You didn't use, you know, any pieces in the wrong spot. Even what you did, you used the right piece, you just tightened at the wrong time. And so I was like, you know, I'm actually not going to charge you guys what I said, because they were like, no. Him and her were like, no, you did great. You saved all right. We're cool with paying what we agreed on, because, you know, we couldn't get it done. And probably would have had, you know, it probably would have took days for us to figure it out. You came here, you got it done in like an hour and a half. Dude, we're good with it. So I was like, man, I really appreciate it. Like I say, stuff like that really makes me feel good and lets me know that I conduct myself well and really show the professionalism I try to put out there in this space. You know what I mean? So they paid, they were happy, and they were good. So we got that done, man, and that was the job for week 21. So make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. 1, 2, 3. Nope, nothing comes to mind. You already know I love you, my guy. Be kind to yourself. Sit down and take a bath. Just soak and watch some TV. I think that'll be a nice reset. Get the room together. We're gonna work on getting the house together. But even before I do it, just soak. It's a nice rainy day. Leave the window open. I'ma sit and I'ma soak tonight. And I think that'll help with my energy. So, oh, that's all. I almost forgot. I believe that I had said that I couldn't find Rooster. Rooster had disappeared. Hadn't seen Rooster for a week. And interestingly enough, like no BS, I had a dream. Rooster's my iguana, by the way. Ramen noodle is my what you call it, is my snake, and Rooster Shinron is my iguana. So I've had my iguana for a year and a half, almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years September 21st, because I remember, because I got it on my cousin's kid's birthday, and I got ramen. I want to say like somewhere around my anniversary of starting a business, which was March the 8th. I got to go back and look at the exact day where I purchased noodles. But so I had rushed out like 2 weeks ago heading to work, and I'll let Rooster out in my room because my house is big. My room is big too, but I'll like close doors, make sure you just can't get in the closet, close the room door. So you got like, you know, the bedroom, and I don't just go like plopping down on my bed. You know, I'm gonna make sure I'm cognizant, okay, where's Rooster at? I know Rooster's out. So I don't walk in just stepping in. Nope, I'm looking down as soon as I walk in the room. I'm looking under stuff, I'm lifting stuff slow, whatever, so I don't hurt him. And I said that because I had a dream during the time Rooster was gone, or, you know, disappeared or whatever, that when I found Rooster, like almost all the 4 feet, arms, legs, whatever you want to call it, were like cut or broke or whatever. And it was like, you can't walk. And I was like, man, I felt like crap. I don't remember crying, but I know I was emotional in my dream. So I was like, that made me like, now I'm really worried. Like, I hope you aren't, you know, somewhere with your legs messed up, whatever. So I looked out through the loft one day, me and my oldest, we went through there looking, because I figured, like I said, I was rushing off to work, and I left my room door open, and the loft is right there by my room door. And before I got home, the older of my 2 bronze was sent me a picture, like, I just wanted to make sure you knew the Rooster was out. And I was like, nah, I didn't. I was like, my door open. He was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I rushed out. That's fine. And I'm like, cool. Just be in the loft, you know, when I get home. Nope, wasn't there for a week. And then I came home like 3 or 4 days ago, and Rooster was right in my room on top of the curtains. There you go. Cool. Look, and of course, first thing in my head, because I had that dream, do you have all your toes? Yep, toes all intact or whatever. So I let him chill in my room for like another day or so. Because I'm like, I know you haven't ate in over a weekend, almost a week and a half now, 10 days with, I don't want to test and see, and I didn't, necessarily look up how long they can go without food. But I'm like, I know you can go a week because I've had iguanas go without food for a week, be in my depressive state, or with my second iguana that I ever had, Zeus. Well, no, that was Zoe, because Zeus I had, like I said, two at one time, Zoe and Zeus. Of course, I wouldn't know who was who, but I remember saying that Zeus was the one that I kept, and Zoe was the one that got away. So I had Zeus for some years, and I got Zeus because Zoe disappeared for a week, so I figured a week with no food, Zoe dead, But nope, so I was like, that's why I wasn't too concerned about Rooster, because I'm like, Rooster's gone a week without eating because my mental health wasn't there, and I was rushing and going crazy, and Zoe did as well because Zoe disappeared for a week. So got back and I'm like, all right, I let you chill for another day or two, let him chill out in my room for another day or two, boop, grab, put him back in there, here's some food. So Rooster's fine. So just wanted to close that out or whatever. But other than that, man, like I say, life has been kind of fun, man. I've been treating myself, having a little bit of fun on the late nights or whatever, and it hasn't been costly. So got to get back on track with my savings plans and everything like that. I'm not messed up at all. Bills are paid, we're doing fine, but I want to make sure I stick to my assistance, and that is week 22, so I can't speak on that. But that's it, my guy. Missing anything else? 1, 2. Nope. I love you. Be kind to yourself. Remember, all of our goals that we're working on will come overnights, plural, with an S. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Even if you win the lottery, that ain't gonna fix everything. I know. I really would love to win the lottery. And we ain't doing no more talking. And in the famous words of that chump Rio, if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't grind, you don't shine. And I'm big gritty, so I gotta eat. So we gotta grind. All right, my guy. I love you. I'll holler at you later.